What up, everybody? This is Slow Jams for Life, and I am back with another interview. You know, I don't really do interviews, but I do interviews with people that I'm a fan of. So today we got Tiffany Evans in the building. How you doing?
Hey, yeah. How you doing? How you
I'm good.
doing?
I'm good. How's life treating you lately? How's your mental?
Pretty good. Well, let me be honest.
Mhm.
Life has been good. Life has been good lately. I'm doing my music thing and really pushing forward with that and then mentally and emotionally I'm catching up.
Okay,
I'll say
cool. Yeah, I had to ask that because a lot of times we ask people how's everything, and we be like it's good, but in reality it'd be
Yeah,
like nah, it's life is life.
it'd be crazy.
Yeah, so I feel it.
I would tell you, honey, I'll tell you.
So for those of you who don't know Tiffany Evans, go do your Google. I'm not gonna get into the whole from the beginning to the end, but I do want to start because I am a fan of your music. And when your manager,
Thank
he had hit me in the DM. He's like, "Hey, can you show some love to this song?" And
you. Yeah.
I didn't get around to the song yet, but I've been a fan of your work for a minute. So I was like, yeah,
Wow.
when I get around to it, I'm gonna post it. I was
Yes.
like, man, now that I got you here, can we get her for an interview? and and it's
Thank you. It means a lot. It
yeah.
means a lot.
And it's crazy because I've actually been thinking about it for a minute to reach out to you for an
Mhm,
interview. But like I
mhm.
said, I'm not an interviewer. So I was just like, I'm gonna let the
Well, timing is everything.
yeah.
Yeah,
Okay. So
timing is everything.
I want to start from where I became a fan, which is your debut album. It was self-titled, right, Tiffany Evans?
Self-titled, yeah,
Okay,
it's self-titled,
so let's start from there. So now,
Okay.
this album, like I said, I'm a fan. I remember listening to it. I have great memories with this album, and I thought it was a really great album. Can you tell me
Mhm.
like what that time period was for you? Because at the time you were with 13
Four
or 14.
15.
Okay.
Yeah,
So can you
came out.
okay.
Yeah, when it
Okay. So Promise Ring dropped. That was going
yes,
crazy. How was that time for you?
yes. I'm when I think back on it, I really didn't understand the impacts of Promise Ring. Imma be honest, I just found out the impact of Promise Ring, like, last year.
Really?
I'm gonna be this is so real because I did a whole bunch of, like, random stuff last year. Some stuff that I wasn't, invited to perform, and not that I wasn't, like, I was banned or anything like that, or I just wasn't thought of, you know what I'm saying? And I showed up to some of these events, and everybody's like, "Yeah, get on the stage." And I'm like, "What? What do you mean?" They want to hear Promise Ring. I get on stage, everybody's going crazy. And it happened every single time I showed up somewhere random.
Mm.
And so in my mind, I'm like, do people really like, is this like that kind of song? And they're like, yes,
Yeah.
it is. Like you're Tiffany. Like in my eyes, you started this trend where the girls was cool with wearing the colors, and we had the bob and all of that. Like I wanted to be just like you, and I hear that from a lot of people who grew up listening to my music. I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't believe it. But it always surprises me, um because during that time I really didn't feel, I was feeling a lot. I
Mhm.
was feeling not good enough. I was feeling like, okay, I just, I've been recording this album for so long. I got signed to Columbia when I was like 10 years old, and I'm recording this album. And, of course, my voice, changed from then to Promise Ring. And so I had did a lot of new records with the Clutch. Shout out to the Clutch. And I was really happy about where I was going in, as far as the direction. But a lot of those songs didn't make the album. Some of the songs that I did when I was like, 12, 11, 10 years old. Some of these records, like, I'm glad I worked with the producers I work with. Like, these are, legendary producers, but I just don't feel like we should mix the songs that I did as a teenager with the songs that I did as like just a little kid, because, my voice doesn't match.
Mhm.
And I just feel like it doesn't reflect where I am now as a teenager. But they still pushed it out. They still mixed it, and I was just kind of like,
Mm.
I was sad.
Yeah.
I was sad during that time. I just wanted, yes, I was sad. Like I told you, I didn't understand the impact of Promise Ring.
Mhm.
So in my mind, I just kind of wanted to move past everything to get to
Mhm.
new music that reflected Tiffany the teenager.
Mhm.
But didn't
Wow.
really get to that part.
Yes, I was yeah, I was gonna ask you about that. So do you well I have a few songs written down for my favorite. But actually let's get into that
Oh my
now.
goodness.
Let's get into that now.
Okay.
So Lay Back and Chill, I was reading and they said that was supposed to be like a one of the third singles. I don't know, was it officially released or
It was supposed to be a second single.
oh second single. So what happened? They
Yes.
went with I'm Grown. I'm assuming I think I know why.
They did.
But
They did. They did. And I didn't want them to go with I'm Grown. Now, let's, you know, say that, I respect the composers of I'm Grown. I love Rodney Jerkins. I love LaShawn Daniels, God bless her soul. Rico Love, Crystal Nicole, everybody. I love them all. And I feel like that was a great record. I just feel also that it wasn't a record that I should have put out after Promise Ring. Because in my mind at the time, and even still now, I said to myself, I'm like, okay, between Lay Back and Chill and I'm Grown, Lay Back and Chill is just me. I feel like it's a continuation of Promise Ring. I feel like it's a different vibe, but it's not too far off from the fun vibes. I'm Grown is more like I'm announcing to the world that I'm grown. And I
mhm.
feel like it's already hard enough, for child stars to grow up in front of people. So it makes it worse when you feel like you have to announce that you are an adult or you are starting to smell yourself or whatever. Like, that I mean that comes, but it's like I don't have to in order for it to be more natural, I feel like you shouldn't announce it. You should just let it come. You
Yeah.
should let it come, let the growth come, let people see you grow up, let people see you get into other things. But it doesn't have to be like, hey, I'm grown. You know what I'm saying? You see me, you see me, you see me.
Mhm.
It kind of becomes
Yeah.
it becomes corny.
Yeah. Yeah.
So in my mind, I just didn't want to go in that direction. And actually, my choreographer and dancer at the time, Sean Bankhead, shout out to Sean. Um, we really pushed for that record. We was oh my gosh, we would like create choreography in a hotel room and try to like show the management team, show the people around us. We're like, look, we already got a concept for a video of mine, but it never happened. And
Hmm.
that's one of the records that I really really wanted to see get the single treatment.
Yeah, that was and I just found out it was produced by Hit Boy. Is that accurate?
Yes,
Yeah, so do
yes,
you remember
yes,
like cuz Hit Boy is, like a big
yeah,
time producer now.
yeah,
Do you have any
yeah.
memory of that or did you know at the time?
I'm gonna be honest. I don't have any memory at all, for real, for real. I just know that I was in the studio, and I'm gonna be honest. A lot of the times, like when I was recording with people, it I had so much going on in my life that I really didn't process what was actually going on in my life.
Mhm.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So even though I had a lot going on, I wasn't processing the moments.
Yeah.
I just kind of went from one moment to the next and one moment to the next and like, oh, okay, cool, great, great.
Mhm.
Next. You know what I'm saying? But now that I look back on everything, I'm like, man, I work with some amazing people. And I
Mhm.
wish I was in such a space to just be able to process everything and I appreciated what was going on, but I feel like a lot of the times I was trying to survive as a kid, as a teenager in this big industry, and I just didn't really know how to process the moment.
And that's okay. I mean, you like I said, you
Yeah,
were a kid at that, so I mean, I can't even
yeah,
remember some of the things I went through at that age. So, and I think you're on
yeah.
your journey now, and it's happening the way it's supposed to happen. So,
Thank
but I did
God.
want to touch on that album because I still play these
Wow.
songs to this day. Like "Lay Back and Chill"
Mhm.
was one. Thinking about thinking about that
Yeah,
album. I mean, that song and the runs that you doing that
yeah,
underrated, underrated.
yeah.
That could have easily been a
Oh
single.
my gosh. My voice was so deep.
That
It was so deep. I'm like, oh my gosh.
I
Like
be
when I listen, I can't even listen to myself though
yeah, you know, you don't like
from
those
that.
older songs?
No, but my kids do.
Okay. And favorite broken
Yeah,
heart.
they love
Favorite broken heart is another one.
him.
Yeah.
Mm,
Okay.
yes.
So,
Laid back, it was always laid back and chilling, favorite broken heart.
do you? So I'm gonna put you on the spot. Do you have a favorite broken heart?
I've only been in two relationships
Two ever, like in your life?
ever,
Oh, okay.
ever in my life. And so um my current situation, that's basically my favorite broken heart.
Okay.
Mhm.
So I was like I said, I was doing a little research before, and there's this
Mhm.
cool video about you, Impressive TV did. Shout out to them, and they said,
Yes.
yeah,
Yes.
they said, Matthew Knowles was your manager at one point. I didn't know that. I
Yes.
found that out today. How was that
Yes.
experience like? Because I know like he gets like a bad a rap. It seems like in from a lot of people. So how was your
Mhm.
experience working with him, and how long was that?
Um, it was like a last resort, right? So this was like way after Promise Ring. I was like maybe 17, going on 18.
Hmm.
And the label, they wanted me to take a meeting with Matthew. And I was just kind of ready to move on, from everybody. I was like, I've never I thought I had a good manager. And then I had a good manager, and some things happened and they didn't stick around. So I'm like, it's just so much. And I think I just want to be released from this deal. And um, they wouldn't let me, settle with that option first. They said, look, take a meeting. Let's, try this again. Let's see how this works. Take a meeting with Matthew. And if it goes well, great. If it doesn't, then we'll explore other options afterward.
Mm,
And so I took the meeting, and the meeting went great. I mean, he told me, he was like, you look great. He was like, I know that you've been through a lot, and I always in my mind, I always thought that he was like a therapist, because the way that he would get you to open up and be free enough to talk about your experiences without any judgment. It always felt like a therapy session talking to him.
mm,
And so he gave me a lot of confidence in knowing that I still had like a shot, doing my thing as Tiffany, and grown, showing people that I've grown, and doing it in such a way that they've never seen it before. um and at that time, he wanted to Matthew wanted me to talk about my experiences that he knows, were traumatic
mm,
for me. And I just wasn't ready to do that. Like, I started recording music that was very vulnerable, very specific about the things that I had gone through. And I'm going to studio, recorded. That's how I'll Be There
mm,
came about. Um, Love the record, always thought it was like a cinematic, very vulnerable, open, beautiful song. And I said, okay, I'll do this, record, and because it's just beautiful. But I don't want a whole project like this.
mm,
I don't, because I don't want to. In my mind, I wasn't ready to talk about anything. I wasn't ready to talk about any of my experiences. Like, maybe, like, say, hey, I've been through some hard times. Um, the normal stuff, but I wasn't ready to go deep. And a lot of people in that Sony building know what deep is for Tiffany.
mm,
So I kind of like, we had two different visions.
mm,
I wanted to do things that I felt would keep me away from feeling facing that kind of music, like, the pain, and, having to relive certain things. And then I was already, in a situation personally, um, in a relationship that I wasn't supposed to be in. And I was going through a traumatic time in that situation. And so I was just like, I don't, but I was protecting,
Hmm.
doing a lot of protecting. And so a lot of things that people kind of like tip their nose up at, like, is that something that's going on over there? Because it seems like it, but I don't want to come out and say like she's going through something crazy or whatever. But you know, I would just be like, oh, no, no, I'm fine. The real trauma is with everybody else, but which it was, but it also was at home. And so I just didn't want to do music on top of music that was like just too open,
Hmm.
too deep in, basically. I wasn't ready to talk about it.
Yeah.
So I wanted to do music that was fun, that was the opposite of anything that I had went through. Music that made you dance, that made you feel love, similar to Promise Ring, but you know, I wanted people to hear the growth as well. And because we had two different visions, but I do believe that he had the best intentions for me. I think that he wanted me to express what hurt me.
Yeah.
And I wasn't I wasn't ready to do that.
Yeah, and it could be that could be tough too because like you said, if you're going through something, you don't want to put that in the music, and it's just like a
Yeah.
constant, and then you get people having their 2 cents, and then you got to talk about it in the interviews. So I get you.
Yeah.
But
It was already hard enough. And so
yeah,
I couldn't do it. I couldn't finish it.
okay,
Yeah.
that makes sense. Okay, so
Yeah.
I saw that you were in a Diary of a Mad Black Woman as a kid.
Yes.
So
Mhm.
did you have to audition for that role, or how did you get that?
I did in a sense because I believe Oprah, you know, ran the play for me. Like I think Tyler saw me on Oprah. One of those things. Either she set it up after I appeared on her show or he reached out to her. But I did like a quick, I wouldn't even say it was like an audition,
Mm-hmm.
but like I did a quick interview,
Mm,
something of the sort. If you see this, Tyler, you can correct me,
yeah.
but that's what from what I remember. I could be wrong, but I just remember being in front of a camera, talking, and you know, and then next thing I know, I was in Atlanta recording "Father, Can You Hear Me" and filming.
Mm. So,
Yeah,
how is Tyler Perry? Did you get to meet him? Obviously, I'm sure you met him.
yeah.
So, how is
He
he?
was in the studio when I recorded it.
Oh, was he?
Hmm.
Okay, yeah, because I
Yeah,
seen a post he did about pretty much not really getting his flowers like that. So
yeah,
I wanted
yeah.
to, and I know he's helped a lot of people. So I just
He
wanted to.
really has.
Okay.
He has kept a lot of us in business.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and a lot of people should be thankful to him because we have our black actors and actresses on the big screen, whereas we would be competing for those main character spots where he just gave it to us. And I think that he opened a door that wasn't really open anymore. Like after the 90s and early 2000s, you didn't really see a lot of that. So for him to be a successful black filmmaker in the way that he has done things is absolutely amazing, and he definitely does deserve his flowers. I really don't get a lot of the riffraff about the type of stuff that he does. When Twitter does a lot of talking,
Mm-hmm.
and they're like, Tyler can do this and do that, but he has created such a platform. You know what I'm saying? And so many opportunities, and I feel like as long as it's about us and he's trying to help push us forward or open doors for us, black and brown people, why not? You know what I'm saying? Why not give him his flowers and, you know, thank him for continuously thinking of us?
Yeah, for sure. And I 100% agree. Like, I don't think
Yeah.
we appreciate him enough for what he's done. People want
No.
to critique the type of movies he make, whether you like or dislike his movies.
Yeah.
Like, he's open.
He's opening doors
Yeah,
for us.
yeah. Okay.
He's opening doors and he should be appreciated.
Okay. So, I want to ask you, what are your favorite songs to perform and least favorite songs to perform? I'm assuming it's the older songs, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But I just recently started I'm getting ready to start performing Favorite Broken Heart and Lay Back and Chill.
Mm.
because we used to perform it, but it was like very young, and
Mm,
now we're grown
yeah,
and we can really play around with the concepts of the performance. Um, and Team Tip deserves that.
yeah.
I think they want a performance from me as an adult of some of their favorite songs, from that album. But I would say like my least favorite to perform are the ones that you've never seen me perform,
Oh, okay.
except for Lay Back and Chillin' and Favorite Broken Heart. I just hadn't really gotten a chance to really like revisit those because I love those records. But
Yeah.
I get a lot of requests.
Mm-hmm.
I get a lot of requests.
Yeah.
I mean, after this interview, y'all should tell me like because even if I don't like it, it could be something that I'm just not seeing. You know what I'm saying? I'm not always right about everything. So
Well, I'm glad you mentioned that because I am a part of Team Tiff, and I'm gonna tell you the songs I
okay.
mentioned. Thinking about if you only do it at the LA show, whenever you come out here,
Yeah.
I will be
Yes,
forever
yes.
grateful.
Oh
uh,
my goodness. Okay, I gotta work that
yeah.
in for you. That was actually, I'm gonna say the first and last time I performed that record was when I opened up for Chris Brown
Oh wow.
many years ago.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it was great. They loved it. They loved
Yeah,
it.
yeah. Okay. So you went on tour, it was the last year to the Lovin War tour with Tamar. How
Yes,
was that?
yes,
Because I
yes.
know, like, prior to that, have you been on tour? Like, what was the last time you've been on tour?
Yeah.
Oh, so you have?
But it was a while.
Okay. So how was it?
It was a while.
How was that with Tamar? I think you were at like a few days, right?
I was during the whole tour, I
You
believe.
were, except for
Um,
LA, because
except for one, except for LA and
I was
DC,
mad about
I think.
that. Okay. So how was that?
Yes, I know DC was great. It was great. It was very challenging, because I did it as an independent artist,
Mm,
and I took my family, a lot of the places that we performed at. Jawan, he he was driving me to every
yeah.
location, and I'm like,
Wow.
oh, yeah, because I'm like, when you are the label, you basically fund
Mhm,
everything, everything.
mhm.
So touring is expensive, and it's not very easy to do. Even if it's a mini tour, you have to like, practically plan out everything and make sure that you have what you need, or have a budget for something. But we kind of just, I don't know, we just went and did our thing. I'm so glad and thankful to Tamar for inviting me out, because she didn't have to do that, but she came back and grabbed your girl and said, "Hey, look, you need to be on this stage,"
Mhm.
and I really appreciate her for that, because it put a confidence in me that I didn't have, for a while. I was like, I'm still, a work in progress, but when she reached out to me, I really felt I felt like, wow,
Mhm.
somebody's watching.
Yeah.
Somebody's watching me. Somebody thinks I should be doing this, and it's one of my peers.
Mhm.
And so, but like I said, we went to every city and we drove there, and I had my family, and Jawan supported me on that tour. It was really, really great. It was a great, tough experience.
Mm, yeah.
But
I'm happy that you were on that.
she was a sweetheart though. It wasn't because of her.
Yeah. Well, I'm happy that
Yeah.
you were on that tour, and I'm happy that you're getting your flowers. I know you said like you didn't really feel like
Yeah.
the impact of promising and stuff
Yeah.
like that, but I see it every time I post it on the page. And
Yeah.
I actually did a poll one time, and I put you against the Vistoso bosses. I think
Oh,
Delirious. I was like, which song do y'all like the most? They was like, don't stop playing with Tiffany. She's that girl. So, but
that is funny.
I just
But
be
yeah, shout out to Coastal Bosses
yeah,
too. They had a great record.
I just be liking to start debates. But
Of course, you got to.
yeah.
You got to.
Okay. So I want to ask you about the Joanne and Tiffany era, because
Yeah.
when you guys joined forces, I was like, this is the
Mhm.
next group, like hottest group. And groups
Oh,
aren't really, out there like
a
that.
theme right
Yeah.
now. Yeah,
So
yeah,
when you guys joined forces, I was like, man, the first song I heard, I don't know if it was finally the first one. Did you guys?
yeah,
Yeah. So you
yeah,
guys came out with that, and then another song, and then
yeah.
I think Patience was one of my favorites. Do you have patience? Yeah.
Yes,
So,
yes.
I think I read you guys aren't doing that at the moment. Like, is that on hold?
Not at the moment.
Okay, so
It is on hold. You know, a lot of that music came from our actual, relationship together,
mm,
and being in love, and just basically writing about each other.
mm,
And but we realized there was like still more opportunity for us as solo artists, and we needed to handle that business, for us as solo artists first. Because I mean, and honestly, I also think that we formed something really, really special, really, really special. Um, so maybe there could have been some feelings about being afraid of it a little bit, of what it could turn into, but I think that really the space that we were in was like, okay, we know we make great music together. We know this is real. This is like what people are hearing. This is very, very genuine. Um, but how do we, finish serving up what we need to serve up as solo artists, and then come back and do Juwan and Tiffany.
yeah,
And I think that's kind of like where we arrived. It was like, okay, we still have unfinished business
yeah,
as solo artists.
yeah.
And Juwan he's working on some amazing stuff, and he's Juwan. I mean, his voice is insane. Um, I've always believed so much in him. Like I know, like when he finally, drops music, I know it's gonna be.
Mm,
Ain't nobody. It's how I feel. Male wise, nobody's touching Juwan
mm-hmm.
vocally.
Okay,
Like, no. And that's how I feel. And it's not against anybody. There's some great people out there right now, some great guys out there right now. But Juwan is absolutely amazing, and I can't wait for the world to hear what I've been able to hear and see what I've been able to see. But that's gonna come back around. I always say if it's in God's will, it'll come back around for us to actually either put out the music that we were working on, in addition to new music, or just do something completely new. But we know that there is some love out there for Juwan and Tiffany, so we can't just
for sure,
leave it alone too long.
for
Yeah.
sure. All right. Well, yeah,
It's
I
response. Yeah.
definitely a fan, and I posted,
Yeah.
and I was
Thank
gonna repost it, but I'm like, should I repost it because they're not really doing this
you.
right now,
Yeah.
so I kind of held back on
Yeah.
it. But good to hear that you guys are doing good, and
Yes.
there might be something in the
Yeah.
future. So, um,
Absolutely.
so now I want to talk about this new era. So you call yourself the president of R&B. Tank is the authority of R&B. So now we got the
Oh,
president.
really? Okay.
Yeah, so well, he calls himself the authority. So,
That's
uh,
right. Oh, yeah, that's right. You're right.
yeah.
You're
So, how
right.
did you come to that? What the president? Like, what made you say, like, you know what? I'm gonna be the president of R&B.
I was actually I was performing at an MLK event. I actually had the privilege of performing in front of his family. Um and I got in the elevator before the performance, or I think it was before or after the performance. But I got in the elevator and I was playing around with my manager, and go to, by the way. And he was like, he just put the camera on me. And so I just stood back and I was like, in this outfit, I feel like Kamala, honey. Like, I feel like, I don't know, very presidential.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was like, hi, my name is Tiffany Evans, and I'm running for the president of the United States of R&B. And B.
Mm,
And I was like, oh my God, we both started laughing. And then I thought about it, I'm like, you know what? I think that's really fun and different. And I don't know, somebody might not like it, but I feel like I love R&B so much, and I want to push the genre the way that it should be pushed back out there. It should be back where it was, if not even better. And I love it so much that I'm willing to vouch for it like a presidential race. Like I'm willing to campaign for it like a
Hmm.
presidential race. So how about we just do that? We just start something, and maybe everybody else might feel presidential too, and they say, you know what? I want to be a president too.
Hmm.
I do R&B as well. That whatever it does to encourage the fellow R&B lover or fellow R&B artist to go harder for the genre. That's something that I said I think could work, and so that's how the idea came about. Just being goofy
Yeah,
and then making it something.
yeah, I like that because I be feeling that way as well with the page. I'm like,
Yeah,
I be posting the underrated gems that people don't know about, and
yeah,
there's a lot of pages, but a lot of people they getting paid to post. Nobody's paying me,
yeah.
so I feel
Yeah,
like
and you're campaigning for it so hard. It's like
mhm,
it might as well be a presidential race. It might as well, because R&B really deserves its flowers. And I feel like, you know, there's still some people sleeping on the genre,
mhm,
but we have the ability to put it back out there in the forefront like it should be, because it's R&B is everything. You get pop from R&B.
mhm. What's
For being
in
honest,
your opinion? What's wrong with R&B right now, or what's missing?
vulnerability,
Mm,
vulnerability. Um, on both ends, male and female, because I feel like everybody's so afraid to be like, I'm thinking about you. I'm crying
mhm,
about you. I'm heartbroken right now, or I'm insecure about what we got. You know what I'm saying? Or whatever the situation is. I feel like everybody wants to play tough,
mm,
and maybe that's been the way that the labels have, pushed it because of society and what is viral on social media. I don't know, but I feel like the vulnerability, the unity, we need to come together and collaborate more. Women for sure. Um Singing
mm.
and really just like digging deep. Lyrical content has to be, I feel like, more expressive. Um them bridges,
Mm.
them stats, them harmonies, them ad libs, it's all missing.
Yeah,
It's all missing. The way the R&B record is structured, we need a little bit more time. We don't need 2 minutes and 50 seconds. We need a little bit. We need something past the 3 minute mark now.
mhm,
You know what I'm saying? We just need to bring it back to. I'm not saying growth is bad. I'm saying that we shouldn't lose the elements that made R&B what it is. You know what I'm saying? Because in the 90s, when you listen to Whitney and you listen to Bobby Brown, or you listen to Jodeci or In Vogue, Cut Close, you felt what they were singing about. And I just want that
mm.
feeling back, if not even better. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you doing your part, I would say, with the music you're coming out with, and also to piggyback on everything you said, interludes as well. We need more
Mhm.
interludes in the albums.
Yeah.
That's
Oh,
like a
yes.
staple.
Sometimes the interludes be the best song.
Yeah, yeah. Um,
It be that sometimes the interludes be the best song. We need more talking. We need more, dancing in the rain. All of that. I think that's what made the 90s so much fun, because everybody was so expressive, and it was even expressive with the colors and the way they wore their hair. And I feel like we just need to get back to that. We need to get back to the color in the music.
mhm.
And I think that's kind of like what we've lost. But no
It's
worries.
coming.
Your R&B president.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, for sure. Let's get into your current single, which is damn, why do I keep forgetting the name? Is Would You?
Would
Would You?
you?
So your current single,
Yeah.
Would You? Talk to me about that song. I really like that song. It's just like one of
Thank
those
you.
instant, you put it on, it gives you that nostalgia feeling. I don't like to say, oh, it reminds me of the 90s or
Yep.
whatever. I just say it reminds you of a great R&B feel good record. Can you tell me about how that record came about? Like a quick little backstory. Like what was the thought behind that record?
Yes. Well, shout out to my producer Dreek. We had been working together on my upcoming EP for like a minute, and I was just like, I want something. I don't know, like I want something that feels 90s, but it's still got its modern touch to it. And like I said, I had been listening to a lot of Cut Close
Mm.
and In Vogue and Jodeci. So I'm like, I need that feeling. And he created the track, sent it to me, and I'm like, ooh. I let Jawan hear it. Jawan like, ooh. He like, wait, what is this? He was like, you want this? I was like, it's mine. Okay. And I sent it to go to.
Mhm.
And I said, you hear this? He was like, oh my gosh. Like, he said, hold on. We're going to work on an idea right now.
Yeah.
So we started working on it. I went in, recorded it. And it was also like, I want to talk about something that's relatable for everyone, men and women. We all have like some insecurities. And sometimes we also question whether we mean as much as we do to a person in our head. And sometimes we want to know their answer. We want to know, like, listen, do you really feel me? You know what I'm saying? If I gave you the choice to choose me, even I know you're putting me through some stuff right now, but do you really choose me? If I gave you that choice, would you choose me or would you choose something else? And we have that breaking point where we love someone, but we don't want them to take advantage of our time.
Hmm.
So that was like the inspiration behind, the concept of would you. It's like, I know what I bring to the table and I know that I'm good, but like, are you missing it? Are you trying to take advantage of me? Like, are you just here just to, waste my time? Or would you actually like, are you choosing me for real? And so that's how it came about. It really, honestly, I didn't know that we would run with the record. I just know it felt good. And I was like, we're still recording because we have recorded a whole bunch of records, really, really amazing records that I cannot wait for you guys to hear. But Would You came up and everybody was like, oh my gosh, like,
Yeah.
you need to press play on this first.
Hmm.
Press play on this first. And I'm like, okay, let's do that. So we're here now. And I'm so happy with the response. I'm so happy with how everybody has been, pushing it and telling everyone about it. And I just hope it continues.
Yeah, yeah. That's a great record, and I posted it on our page, and it's getting some good reviews. So I'm happy for you. And but
Yes,
you
yes.
always put out great songs, so I'm not
Oh,
surprised.
thank
Yeah,
you.
I'm not surprised. Are you still in love with making music? Is it? Do you enjoy it?
Ooh. I am in love with making music.
Yeah.
Um, I'm not in love with the industry.
Hmm.
Does that make
Yeah.
sense? I'm not in love with the industry, but I'm in love with making music. And so my love for making music and wanting people to hear that creativity and the gift that God gave me fuels me to want to get it out there.
Hmm.
Um, but I've always, felt iffy about the industry because, of course, it's a cutthroat world.
Hmm.
There's really not a lot of love in it at all. It's probably no love except for like whoever you bond with and connect with on a special level. But the making music, that's something that I think I'll always love to do.
Hmm.
And I've been jaded, but not jaded enough to stop.
Yeah, that's good. Please don't stop.
Yeah.
You know, I
Yeah.
think even though I love your old work, I think some of your best music is ahead of you. So,
Yet to come.
looking forward to that. And
Thank you.
when you look back at your career, I don't know how often you do it, but like, what are you most proud of so far?
Ooh. Um,
She was like, I didn't know you was gonna have me in here thinking.
because I'm thinking. Okay. I'm proud of the journey.
Mm,
I'm proud of the journey. I feel like I have been through so much and probably a lot more bad than good. But I've also experienced a lot of great things. So I just, it's kind of, it's not out of balance, but um the Lord has allowed me to do things that, the average kid, wasn't doing at my age. Um, did I have to make a lot of sacrifices? Yes, I did.
Mm.
And one being my childhood and not really getting to spend a lot of time being a child, loving all my siblings and growing up with them, growing up normally. But I'm proud of the journey. I'm grateful that I survived this long. Um, and that I'm just still that I'm tenacious, I'm still willing to push and go at it and not feel, I mean, well, I can't say that I haven't felt mm, not good enough because I have felt that way.
Hmm.
But I'm just so happy that every time I felt that way, I've overcome over and over and over again. And yeah, so I feel like the best is yet to come.
Yeah.
And I also feel like even though there are circumstances where you're not in control, there's something still to be learned. There's still a lesson to be learned in all experiences. Something to take from each of them. Um, and so now I'm just here and I'm ready to welcome all of the great things that I feel like God wants me to have. And now I'm in a space where it's like, if it's for me, it's for me.
Mm. Well said. Yeah.
If it misses me, it misses me. It's not for me. Or maybe it's I'm not ready for it yet. And that's how I look at things now. I'm not too hard on myself as much as I was before. I'm like, look, I'm living life just like everybody else. I'm trying to accomplish a goal just like everybody else. And if it's for me, it's not gonna miss me. If I'm ready for it, if it's ready for me, it'll be in my lap. If it's not, then I got a little more waiting to do, and that's okay.
Hmm. Yeah, well said. And I echo those sentiments. Like I tell people all the time, it's part of the journey. Even with me building this, platform, I didn't even get into this to build an R&B platform. I just love
Yeah.
R&B, and now here I am interviewing somebody that I grew up listening to, which is, it's a surreal moment for me, but I'll cherish it because this means more to me than probably because like I said, I'm a
Oh,
genuine fan, and I don't even interview. I didn't get in this to interview people, but I do like to talk
yeah.
R&B. So, but yeah,
Amazing.
we have to embrace the journey, the good or bad, and the
Absolutely.
things we went through. Sometimes we have to go
Mhm.
through it to get to where we're gonna get to. So,
And everything is on the other side of your ego. Everything good is on the other side of your ego. So I also want to say to you, Manuel, thank you so much for uplifting the R&B culture and highlighting us in such a way where, people who didn't understand it or know of it before they get to know about it because you're constantly pushing the artists that push R&B culture. And so thank you so much for allowing me to be on this platform. I This means a lot to me. Every interview, every comments, every repost, every highlight, it means so much to me because you guys really don't have to take time out of your day to do it. So I'm always appreciative, and I look forward to seeing this platform grow bigger and bigger and bigger and
I,
expand. And hopefully, we'll do this again.
yeah, for sure, I appreciate it. And damn, I just lost my train of thought. But
Yeah, I'm sorry.
I was gonna say, eh, let's forget about it. But yeah. Oh yeah, I can tell that you are appreciative because whenever I post
Oh
you make sure you say thank you, you repost, and
yeah,
not every
yeah,
artist does that. Not every artist does that.
yeah.
So again,
I truly
thank
am.
you, and we'll leave it there. And before I go, I do want to ask you what are three slow jams that everybody should listen to tonight?
Woo. Okay. Cut close. Um, surrender.
That's my favorite.
Cut close. I love cut close. I'm telling you, I'm so in. Okay. Cut close. Surrender. Cut close. I like. And then Would You by Tiffany Evans.
Okay, cool. Yeah, that Cut Close album,
Yeah.
banger, underrated. I
Oh
post
yeah.
about it all the time.
Oh my gosh. Like just get into it. I am so into it right now. I'm so into it. And so I would just say if you don't know about Cut Close, that's a gem for you. So
Okay,
listen.
cool. Well, thank you again, Tiffany. I appreciate it. And everybody, make sure you check out her new single that's out. Would you? And new project on the way this year, right?
This year.
Mhm. Okay, cool.
Yes.
All right, thank you. Enjoy the
Thank
rest of
you so much.
your week, and
Yes,
I'll be
you
in touch.
too. God bless everybody. See you
All right,
soon.
take care.